Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. All right, in this video, I want to share this public lecture, The Computer of 2040, Intelligence Beyond Silicon. Imagine someone from the year 1990 asking, what will computers look like in 2026? Most people would have imagined faster desktops, right? They would never imagined AI writing software, self-driving cars, AI platforms, quantum computers, brain-computer interfaces, humanoid robots. Now ask another question. What will computers become by 2040? Will they simply become faster, or will they become something fundamentally different? So this lecture explores the future of computing not merely as an engineering challenge, but as one of the defining philosophical and spiritual questions of the 21st century. For over 70 years, computing followed one simple idea: one machine, one processor, one keyboard, one screen. This model originated from the von Neumann architecture proposed by John von Neumann in 1945. Well, its basic structure consists of CPU, memory, storage, input, and output. Remarkably, nearly every laptop, smartphone, and server today still follows this architecture. However, by 2040, this model will no longer dominate. Instead of a single computer, computing will become distributed, embedded, ambient, autonomous, context-aware. And computing will disappear just like that into the environment. Just as electricity became invisible yet essential, computation will become invisible but omnipresent. Now, in this part, I want to talk about the six revolutions defining the computer of 2040. And the first revolution is AI native computing. Today's computers execute instructions. Tomorrow computers will understand intentions. Instead of typing open word, you may just simply say, hey, help me finish my research. And the computer will just instantly search literature, summarize findings, generate hypotheses, design experiments, produce graphs, and prepare publication drafts. The operating system itself will become intelligent. So instead of applications, people will have AI collaborators. Their interface shifts from clicking icons to having conversations. And the second revolution is quantum computing. I talked about this in the last two videos of my public lecture, and you can have a look at it and listen to it if you want to listen to more on quantum computing. And today's computers use bits, right? 0 or 1. But quantum computers use qubits. A qubit can exist in multiple states simultaneously through superposition and become correlated through entanglement. This enables certain problems to be solved dramatically faster than the classical computers. Well, there are several potential breakthroughs. The first one is drug discovery, molecular simulation, optimization, logistics, cryptography, climate modeling. So by 2040, quantum processors will likely walk alongside classical computers rather than replace them. So think of it like classical computers are family cars, quantum computers are space rockets, and each has a different purpose. And the next revolution is neuromorphic computing. Also, let me write it down for you, and I'm sure this word is unfamiliar for you. So let me write it down for you here, which is neuromorphic computing. Right. And the human brain consumes roughly 20 watts. Yeah. So a modern AI data center can require hundreds of megawatts. Why? Because today's computers are not built like brains. Neuromorphic chips imitate neurons. So I'm going to write it down how they imitate and what are the things that they imitate. I'll write it down here for you. So these are the four things that neuromorphic chips imitate: neuron synthesis, spike-based communication, adaptive learning, and instead of separating memory and processing, they integrate both, greatly improving energy efficiency for certain tasks. Future computers may resemble biological nervous systems more than traditional processors. Now, let's look at the next one. Biological computing, the next revolution is. Perhaps the most astonishing revolution is living computation. And scientists are exploring DNA data storage, engineered cells, organoid intelligence, molecular computing, and 1 gram of DNA can theoretically store hundreds of petabytes of information. So, so 1 gram of DNA equals petabytes, petabytes of information. So instead of silicon, future computers may use biology for specialized applications. This blurs the line between biology and information science. And the next revolution is spatial computing. The screen may disappear, no longer screen, no longer desktop screen or laptop screen or whatever tablet screen. Instead of looking at information, you may live inside it. Augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality could transform interaction with digital systems. Imagine a surgeon viewing a patient's anatomy floating in 3 dimensions, an architect walking through a building before construction begins. It's like hologram. Students exploring ancient Jerusalem or the human bloodstream as immersive environments. So the computer becomes the world around us. And I'm sure all of you, a lot of you, some of you who have the uh, uh, who loves to watch science fiction movies, and I'm one of them. I used to watch a lot of science fiction movies, and which is already predestined, or I would say predicted what is going to happen in the near future. And the next revolution is brain-computer interfaces. Future computers may communicate directly with the brain. Well, instead of hands, keyboard, computer, communication may become thought computer. So potential applications include restoring speech, helping paralyzed patients communicate, controlling prosthetic limbs, treating neurological disease, accelerating human-computer interaction. And this raises profound ethical questions about privacy, identity, and autonomy. Now, in this part, I want to add on intriguing point, which the computer becomes an ecosystem. By 2040, your computer may consist of AI assistants, wearable devices, cloud supercomputers, edge devices, autonomous robots, smart buildings, satellites, medical sensors. So instead of owning one computer, you become part of a computational ecosystem. Computing moves from devices to environments. Now, intelligence is becoming a utility. Electricity transformed civilization because it became universally available. Computing followed the same path. The next transformation is intelligence. AI is becoming an on-demand utility. Just as we no longer generate our own electricity, future generations may not build every model locally. Instead, intelligence will be delivered wherever and whenever it is needed. This democratizes powerful capabilities, but also concentrates immense responsibility in those who design and govern these systems. Now, the computer of 2040 is not guaranteed yet. Several scientific obstacles remain even for the near future. AI requires enormous electricity. Future systems must become dramatically more efficient, and more computation produces more heat. Advanced cooling technologies, new materials, and novel chip architectures will be essential. And quantum computing threatens many current cryptographic systems. The transition to quantum-resistant cryptography will be critical to protect communications and financial systems. Now, who controls AI? Who owns your digital identity? Can algorithms discriminate? Can synthetic media undermine trust? Um, Technical progress without ethical reflection can create societal instability. And could machines ever become conscious? This remains an open philosophical and scientific question. Many researchers distinguish between intelligence, problem solving, and consciousness, subjective experience. No accepted scientific theory currently demonstrates that increasing computational power alone produces consciousness. Now, let's dive into a biblical perspective on the computer of 2040. So, technology expands human capability. That's right. It does not redefine human worth. So, let me stop share this screen for this. It does not redefine human worth, right? And when we look at it in the Bible, Genesis declares that humanity is created in the image of God, Imago Dei, which is from Genesis 1:26 to 27. And our value is therefore grounded in our Creator, not in our computational abilities. A future computer may calculate faster, remember more, generate more languages, several languages at, at the same, concurrently, recognize images, optimize decisions, but it cannot replace the God-given qualities that define personhood, such as moral responsibility, worship, love, repentance, covenant relationship, spiritual discernment. And the Bible consistently presents wisdom, not mere knowledge, as the highest human pursuit. And when we look at it in the Proverbs 9:10 teaches us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Knowledge answers, what can we build? Wisdom asks, shall we build it? And when we look at this Bible story, the Tower of Babel and modern computing, the account of the Tower of Babel, Genesis 11, verses 1 to 9, is often misunderstood. The problem was not technology itself. The people demonstrated remarkable engineering and cooperation. Their failure lay in pride and self-exaltation. They sought to make a name for themselves, right? Apart from God. Modern computing presents a similar temptation. Humanity now possesses unprecedented computational power. The central question is not whether we can build increasingly intelligent systems, it is whether we will use them with humility, justice, and love. Without wisdom, technological success can magnify human folly. Now, I want to share the mind of Christ in the age of intelligent machines according to the New Testament. Let me share it on screen. I just want to put it in a chart. Okay, let me clear this one and put it this. So the New Testament calls believers not merely to acquire knowledge, but to cultivate the mind of Christ, which we can see in Philippians 2:5. And the qualities of Christ stand in striking contrast to the goals often pursued in technology. So let me copy this chart here. Yeah. So now let's look at this. So the left to your left is world's ideals, and to your right is Christ's example, right? For world's ideal is power, Christ's examples is service. World's ideal is speed, and Christ's example is patience. And world's ideal is efficiency, and Christ's example is compassion. World's ideal is fame, but Christ's example is humility, control, right? World's ideal is control, but Christ's example is obedience. World's ideal is intelligence. Christ's example is wisdom. So the computer of 2040 may become extraordinarily capable, yet our believers' Christian maturity is measured not by computational ability, but by Christ-like character. So now let's look beyond 2040. By 2040, we may witness AI scientists discovering new medicines, quantum assisted climate modeling, brain control, prosthetics restoring mobility, digital twins supporting personalized healthcare, autonomous factories and transportation systems, intelligent tutors providing individualized education worldwide. Beyond 2040, researchers are already exploring molecular computers, photonic computing, quantum networking, self-organizing robotic systems, hybrid biological silicon intelligence. But the future of computing is likely to involve collaboration among many specialized paradigms rather than a single dominant technology. So, the most remarkable computer in 2040 may not be the one on your desk. It may be the invisible network around surrounding you. But even then, one reality will remain unchanged. The human mind is not merely a processor. The human soul is not software. The human person is not an algorithm. Technology can amplify our abilities, but it cannot determine our identity. As computers become increasingly intelligent, humanity must become increasingly wise. The greatest challenge of the future will not be building smarter machines, it will be becoming wiser people. The computer of 2040 will transform civilization, but only wisdom rooted in reverence for God, expressed through love of neighbor, can ensure that this transformation serves human flourishing rather than undermines it. Now, the Bible opens, right, as a closing for my lecture. The Bible opens with God's creative word bringing order out of chaos, closes with a vision of a renewed creation where God allows and God dwells with humanity in Revelation 21. Technology can help us understand, heal, communicate, and steward creation, but it cannot bring about that ultimate renewal. The computer of 2040 may be the most powerful tool humanity has ever built, yet it will remain a tool. The enduring question is not how intelligent will our computers become, but will we become people of wisdom, justice, humility, and love as our tools become more powerful? That is the question every believer Christian and every generation especially ours, must answer. Right? So I'll see you in my next lecture. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment on the comment areas, and happy to help too. And God bless you bountifully in every aspect of your life. Remember, God loves you so much. Bye bye.